Hello and welcome to the 50-cent tour of Thursday, June 20th, 2013. Please find a seat on the Liberty Bus and we will begin our tour. Snowden, this country is worth dying for, urges potential whistleblowers to come forward, says truth will come out. Well, let's hope so, but it is dangerous these days to be a whistleblower. Suspicious activist and whistleblower deaths on the rise. Spread the word of warning. If you've ever feel threatened or, like you personally are doing things that are pushing on the system, you might look into some ways to be safe and travel more privately, to keep your cell phone in a metal box when you're traveling. If you have any transponders for fast track or any kind of automatic toll paying system, keep those in a metal box. And there's probably just some simple things like that you can do. But if you feel personally threatened, you might want to look into that, because we do seem to be living in those kind of days right now. Is journalist Michael Hastings a victim of Obama's assassination policy? This guy was blown up, this Rolling Stone reporter that was working on a story. The engine of his car was, they want to say that he was driving erratically and crashed into a tree, but the engine of his car was just shot out and was found far down the street in a way that really an explosion only explains. And last article written by Michael Hastings before his death. And evidently it was a story that he was working on when he was killed. That is the big story. And I don't, in one way, I don't want to make too much of this, because I don't want us to feel threatened or like the bad guys are winning. But on the other hand, it's so important for people to know about this and to become outraged about this, because if we all want to try to deceive ourselves. Well, maybe not all of us, but many of us would like to be able to deceive ourselves and tell ourselves that this is America. There are certain standards of liberty, certain standards that the government won't cross certain lines. Well, that is simply not so, and everybody needs to be aware of that. Lyndon Larouche, good old Lyndon Larouche, man, he's been around a while. Maybe because he's rich, he can hire good security or something, I don't know. He definitely has stepped on their toes at one time and another. Lyndon Larouche's June 14th, 2013. Let these banks go bankrupt. We don't need them. They are killing us. Okay, it's hard to argue with that, isn't it? The forced depopulation of America's rural areas. And I think it was just yesterday that I had the article about how living in cities makes people more stressed out, affects our decision-making processes. And here's, it breaks down our defenses and makes us weaker people. And I believe that is one reason why this whole Agenda 21 thing is forcing us into smaller areas packed with more people. It weakens us. It takes us off the land. It removes us from vital aspects of humanity. I've had articles in the past about earthing, and about how touching the Earth's being in contact with direct contact with the Earth's magnetic field has healing properties for us. And so many people I know are planting big gardens and, getting out and touching the earth and being around plants, caring for plants. It's what we need. It's part of what we need. Lots of Americans hate work so much that they're sabotaging their employers. Wow, that is a big statement. And again, in many respects, we're so far removed from the real work that people have done for centuries, you know, touching things, making things, forming things, growing things. We're so far removed from all of that that I think that it affects us. There's a breakdown in our sense of ourselves because we're not doing what the human body is wired to do. And in response, you know, people are miserable. Study 70% of Americans on prescription drugs. I just want to be quiet for just a moment and, you know, let that sink in. It's just a huge number. 20% of U.S. patients were also found to be on 5 or more prescription medications. Dr. Noah, our doctor and chiropractor who works as a volunteer with veterans suffering from PTSD and other maladies, has known some of those guys in the veterans home. I don't like to call it that, but that's essentially what it is. The veterans rehab home. Some of those guys have been on 40 prescription medications. Now, if that doesn't short circuit every system of your body, I don't know what will. British National Archives show a son was born to Obama Sr. in 1961 in Kenya. Now, I know that a lot has been made of Dreams of My Real Father, and I know that a lot of people, you know, like thinking and believing that Obama is the son of that communist, and that may well be. But I don't want to take anything for granted. We're having so much information rapid fired at us. A lot of it is meant as a distraction. If Obama was the son of the communist guy, okay, politically that might be somewhat damning, but it doesn't remove his potential for being president based on citizenship. Whereas this, if this is reality, this does. And the Benghazi information that came out, that you know, is impeachment in the waiting. And so when that story started to become big, all of a sudden we get all this other NSA information released. Now those are also big stories. I'm not diminishing their importance. However, it's as difficult as it is. You know, there's a shell game going on to try to get us to, oh, the shell's under there. No, the shell, you know, it's very difficult for us to know what's going on, what to focus on. And I've probably said that 100 times. But it's crucial, crucial, crucial that we do. And Benghazi NSA-Gate update. I'm not typically, you know, I don't accept everything Tom Hennigan says carte blanche. But I think it's important that we not let go of the Benghazi issue. It's huge. It's damning. It's not that I'm, you know, looking to get rid of Obama. It's not that I'm gunning for him. I really just desperately want change. And I see the potential. Some of these stories have potential to usher in change. Some of them are just ho-hum, more of the same. And I hope that we can all, you know, do that 100th monkey principle from yesterday. I hope that we can all focus on the significant issues and usher in change through that. And, you know, ultimately, I just want to mention too that regarding the 100th monkey, I think there's real temptation right now, and God knows, I mean, we could be being beamed, chemtrailed, whatever, to make us feel discouraged, and with the news too. And the Glenn Beck build-up, something big's going to happen tomorrow, and then it doesn't happen. We can't be on that roller coaster. You know, we have to steadily move toward a goal, and it's important that we all, I believe, that we all stay on as even of a plane as possible emotionally and not be drawn into, what's been called Larouche, not be drawn into fear, disappointment, frustration, anger, hatred. I think that, it's crucial, especially considering the 100th monkey, that we release love and peace and joy and hope. And I was thinking this morning about Psalm 2, and I didn't open the window for Bible Gateway, but Psalm 2, all the plans that the evil devise against God and against His anointed, and God sits in the heavens and laughs. So knowing that God is not threatened, if God be for us, who can be against us? We are not threatened. And sometimes I think it's just crucial to remember that. Sorry, I went on a little tangent there, but the important stuff, and I'm reminding myself. Brazilian cop refuses order to go against the people. We're drifting toward our good news ending today. This is good news. Yeah, they're evidently, the police in Brazil are military, and he was told to take 3 patrol cars and drive in the direction of the crowd to scare and disperse them, and he refused. He had his gun taken away, yeah, whatever, but if everybody refused, if all the policemen peacefully refused, that just right there, that disarms the evil. It takes the power away from the evil. And think the anti-GMO movement is unscientific? Think again. And there's, just some verification here that it's intelligent to be anti-GMO. It's not superstitious. It's not resistant to change. It's intelligent. There are science-based reasons why we don't want genetically altered food. And former GMO engineer drops Biotech and goes organic. So, if you needed more proof, this is it. And somewhere there's a photograph of it's in Read More, and I don't want to click that because it'll take forever to load. But there's a photograph of this guy and his wife. So that is, that is some good news, that real people who have real intelligence and real understanding are saying, hey, wait a minute, this isn't right. And if we all do that with one voice, if we all stand up and say, like that policeman, no, I'm not going to do that. That isn't right. I agree with these people who are resisting the government. I'm not standing with the police. I'm not standing with Monsanto. These people who've worked in this field. I'm not standing with Bayer. The guys in the NSA, Snowden. I'm not standing with Obama. I'm not standing with what this organization is doing. And whatever, if we're martyred, we're martyred. But somebody will. It's the next generation that it's our goal for them to come through this safely. And if some of us die, whatever. If you're a martyr, hey, you get to be under the altar in heaven. I think that's pretty cool. The Daily Tour is a presentation of She Who Will Walk in the Dark Productions. And we do thank you for joining us for today's tour. And no matter how dark it might seem, the dawn is coming. And these guys who are dying, giving their lives for the cause of liberty, I believe they're in a better place. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, hoping that you will be filled with faith, hope, and love, that you will take care and insist on liberty.